Hi there, we're group 3. We are going to introduce how to put the data into the Rainbird Cirrus software program. So stay tuned and we will enlighten you.
Okay, so today we will be inputting all of our sprinkler data into the Rainbird software system. To do that, to start off, you're going to go to the far left icon located on page 1 called System Settings right here. You click on that icon and this menu opens. From there, we are going to hover over the decoder check mark, and you click on that and these 3 dots come up, and then you click on there and hit OK. And what that does is it changes the software from operating on a satellite to now it's operating on a decoder. After that, you check your international settings to make sure you're in the right language and your right units for measurement. So we're working in US units, gallons per minute, and we're speaking English. From there, you hover over into the icon called Area Definition Tables. It's a little house and golf course. And this is where you're going to be labeling all the sprinklers you're going to be using. So on our course, we have greens, tees, fairways, rough, perimeter, surrounds, and approaches. And so to input an area, click on this little tab here, and I'll do greens first. Hit the G there, and then you go into the area name, type in greens, and then you can do that for each one. One thing to note about when entering these areas is you can only use each letter once, so you have to pick your letters accordingly. And then that's for all the golf areas. If you have any other areas such as your driving range or your clubhouse lawn and stuff like that, that can be entered here on this side. And once that's all input, you hit close and move on to the next part.
Okay, so now we're going to go to the data default settings. So here's where all your areas are going to populate. So the ones that were just inputted there, the greens, fairways, approaches, surround, tees, and rough. And here we are going to set our default runtime. So I went and set them all for 10 minutes. This can be changed. We are then going to go to the little router, little sprinkler label here, and this is where you're going to go pick your sprinklers. So if you see there's a drop down menu that just pops right here. If you click the down arrow, you'll get a list of different types of Rainbird sprinkler series. So we're going to go with the Eagle 700 series, and it will also bring up all the different types of nozzles that correspond with that sprinkler head. So we're going to go down to orange. And at the top bar here, I'll tell you the PSI, and we're using an 80 PSI. So we're going to hit this one here, and it will automatically give you your gallons per minute for that sprinkler. And this little column here will say how many are linked together. So on the fairways here, you can see that I have inputted 2, meaning that 2 sprinklers are being connected and controlled by 1 decoder. When you are all finished here, you can click the little black arrow. We're going to select this column, all of this column, and this one as well. Press OK. And that is, we'll close this here. And then we're going to go over to our operation settings. So this is where you can change if you want to allow manual operation, if the system is off. And it'll also give you different options for your shutdown parameters here if you want a 1-minute shutdown, 2-minute, or even you can change it to whatever you feel comfortable.
All right, so next we're going to go into the station detail here. And from the previous information that we've entered, you'll have this top bar show all your areas, the greens, your fairways, approach, and whatnot. From there, you want to click on the greens and highlight that, and then click the plus button to add in the number of stations on the greens. In this case, we're going to have 5. So once you've clicked those 5, you can see they're all there. In here, is showing all the populated information from before. Here it's showing that all the decoders are set for singles. That's not right. Oh yes, for singles. And here's your volume of gallons per minute, and the actual rotor type. All the information is populated here. Then it's a matter of going in and verifying. If you have two rotors, you'll have to change so that you have two of the solenoids. You can do that as necessary depending on the system. From there, we will be going into, if you need to delete a station, highlight it and then click the X. You'll get a verification box asking you if you want to delete that station, and then you can delete it. Now this can be repeated for all the other areas. Just select fairways. Once again, you get a blank screen, but by pressing the plus button, you can add in any number of stations for the fairways. In this case here, the volume, the gallons per minute, is doubled because they're all paired. So you want to make sure that all these decoders are set to 202 because they're all paired up. And once that's complete, this process is similar on all areas of the greens, and just by following and selecting the area, you can do this for as many stations as necessary. Once again, if you need to delete, just select that station and hit the delete button. As well, in this column right here, this is where you'll want to enter in your decoder address. Each hole and station is going to have a specific number sequence to follow. Numbers cannot be duplicated. So here you can click 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you were to duplicate a number again, you hit enter, it's going to give you an error that says that that address is already in use. So that just is a verification that you can't use that number again. So carry on with the process. This will be carried on, so in the next area with approaches or surrounds, you just carry on with that number 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth.
So the next step you're going to want to do is go to the monitor log screen, which is this screen here. And this is a page that is populates with all your information you put in the previous steps. If there's a dash in these boxes here, that means there is no information there. And if they are blank, that means information is there, and it will eventually show up as populated. As you go down, we've only done our greens and our fairways, but in the previous steps, once we do approaches, surrounds, tees, and rough, all of these will be eventually filled in, holes 1 through 18. Once you're done, close this window here.
And that concludes our Rainbird Cirrus presentation. From here, you will exit to the home screen, and you can double-click for the Cirrus backup, which will prompt a page that has the one-touch backup or an instant restore. So choose appropriately and always save your data. Thank you very much.